Let it go! Yeah, that's a man!
Alrighty guys, welcome to another YouTube video. We are going to be having a look today at Ermes Gasparini, the man who's gone from boy to beast and now sits in a position where he's on the edge of entering the top 8. And not only entering the top 8, but if you look at his pathway through the potential opponents, he might even go all the way. I mean, is it too far-fetched to think that Ermes Gasparini could go from not even in the top 8 to being the champion of the top 8? It's a big call, but I wanted to have a look at his evolution over the last few years and analyze what's ahead of him in this top 8 season and just kind of see what plays out, because realistically, he's clearly on a charge. He has made a lot of waves in recent times in arm wrestling. He's declared his intent is to go all the way. He said he can beat just about everyone. Just put him in front of me. Let me beat him. Doesn't matter if it's Devon Larratt. Doesn't matter if it's Levan Saganashvili. He's ready. He wants to go at them. And at the end of the day, it's hard to really say that he's not on the money. So let's have a look anyway at kind of a little bit of where he's come from. Now, before I do get started, just recognize that Ermes Gasparini comes from an absolute pedigree line of arm wrestlers. I believe his father was a world champion. The first time I personally met Ermes Gasparini was in 2015 at the WAF World Championships in Malaysia. I believe he won it that day in the 80 kilo class or 85 kilo class, whatever it may have been. Either way, he was a much lighter guy. So I've got some footage here. Actually, let's have a look at it now. Ermes Gasparini up against Evgeny Prudnik. You can see Prudnik too good for him there, forcing the hook, and Gasparini looking skinny and looking like a boy. But now look at this, Dmitry Trubin. This is 2016. Now, interestingly, Gasparini, if he beats Alex Kadecha and qualifies into the top 8, he will be facing Dmitry Trubin, the man right here. And you can see back in 2016, when Gasparini was about 95 kilos, he had control of the hand and wrist of Trubin, and Trubin in total trouble. You can only anticipate now that the 120 kilo version of him is going to monster Trubin. Now, here is a video in a training session with the number 2 in the world, Vitaly Laletin of Russia. Now, Ermes Gasparini making an enormous impact here. Yes, it's only training pulling, but this was a moment over in Dubai with Larry Wheels where the world started going, oh, hang on a second. Have a look at the form of Ermes Gasparini. His bicep and back pressure, it's bigger than ever. His hand integrity is outstanding. He's back and forth with the monstrous 6'7", whatever he is, Vitaly Laletin, who just utterly crushed Krasimir Kostadinov. Have a look at this pull. This pull here is fantastic, really interesting. 2 top rollers, both with their hands halfway sort of compromised. Look at it. Vitaly Laletin right now has the control of the hand predominantly, but watch the amazing defense. You can pronate through his thumb, use that superior back pressure that he's got to drag back and then attempt to get his own hand control once again. But again, equally impressive technique from Vitaly Laletin to defend against Ermes here. And I think this one winds up with Ermes just saying, all right, I can't quite get through. Instead of going to the death, they end up kind of just conceding it. But either way, what it shows is Ermes Gasparini had leveled up. Now, of course, after this training pull, the next thing we saw Ermes Gasparini was to take on Matt Mask. You can see here, this is his most recent performance. I'll show you all of the pins that he goes through. Looking really good against Matt Mask. He was in control. He did lose a round to Matt Mask, but essentially he was in total control the whole time. So Ermes Gasparini undoubtedly is in tremendous form. The interesting thing when we talk about his run in the top 8, should he qualify? And it is a should, no disrespect to Alex Kadecha, but Ermes Gasparini is the firm favorite against Alex Kadecha. Now, if Ermes Gasparini defeats Alex Kadecha in his first round, he will face Dmitry Trubin. And as we saw in 2016, Ermes Gasparini at much lighter 95 kilos already had control of Dmitry Trubin. I expect Ermes Gasparini to be able to beat Trubin quite handily, should that match come about. if he beats Trubin, moves forward. His next match, Vitaly Laletin. Now, it's safe to say Vitaly Laletin's going to win his opening round, so Ermes Gasparini v Vitaly Laletin, that is a really, really interesting match. We saw the practice pulling, which was back and forth, 50-50. A lot of people said, take it with a grain of salt, Vitaly Laletin will be a different beast. I agree, he will be. But Ermes is right there. Ermes gets the starts. If Ermes gets the position he needs, he has clearly demonstrated he has sufficient strength to actually defeat Vitaly Laletin, which would be enormous. If he does that, he's in the final, isn't he? He's in the final against most likely Levan Saganishvili, unless Dave Chafee causes him a problem and takes his spot. But Ermes Gasparini is a realistic chance. I think if you had to bet on someone that is an absolute outsider, he would be the man to do it. Like he may well go all the way. Could he beat Levan? Oh my goodness, it's hard to see him beating Levan. It really is. But then again, when I think back to Levan against Trubin, Trubin somewhat took Levan's hand, or at least made it look unstable last time they faced. And Ermes Gasparini has a better hand than Trubin, so it's not that far out of the question. Anyway, what do you guys think about Ermes Gasparini? Is he going to do it? He's certainly on a tear right now. He is a popular man in that part of the arm wrestling world. His evolution has been nothing short of extraordinary, and he wants to go all the way. So if he can go all the way, it's an impressive feat because he's not a huge human. At the end of the day, he's 115 kilos at the moment, but he's not genetically built like Levan. He's not enormous. He's not that 170 kilo just giant. So he's doing it with really technical arm wrestling, really great execution, and really finely tuned specific strength. So big fan of Ermes Gasparini, and I'm excited to see how far he goes. Anyway, guys, leave us a comment, hit the like button for me, hit the share button, and subscribe if you're really into it. But let us know what you think about Ermes. How far will he go through this top 8 season, and can he go all the way? All right, guys. All right, take care. See you next time.
Yeah, that's a man!